Good afternoon. This is Councilmember Gil Cedillo. This is the Housing Committee. On Wednesday, October the 24th, 2018, we are in room 1010 of the City Hall. This is 3 o'clock. I notice a quorum. I'm joined by my colleague, Councilmember Marquise Harris Dawson. Mr. Krikourian is unable to be with us this afternoon. We notice a quorum and call upon the following speakers to come and make their general public comment and their specific comment to items on the agenda. Each will be allowed at 3 minutes. Ms. Ramirez, are you ready? And total, correct.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen,
Ms. McAllister, you want to work? Ms. McAllister, you want to make your way up here, and Mr. Herman?
Thank you.
Mr. Herman, you can join us at your convenience as well.
Ladies first.
Ms. Ramirez, at your pleasure.
Thank you very much. You know, I came here as an immigrant, a lawful immigrant, as an infant. My father went by the rule of law, applied to enter the United States, and so did my mother by the rule of law. I came with my parents with the approval of the Department of Justice, did not swim the Rio Grande doing the backstroke or the butterfly. We followed the rule of law all our lives, and I'm ashamed of the Mexican government, yes, the Mexican government, for pushing and demanding that all these illegal criminal wetbacks and gangbangers come into this country, forcing their way in. And not only are they forcing their way in, but they're forcing their way into your homes. They break into your homes every day, everywhere. I, as a Mexican, am ashamed of it because my parents didn't raise me to be a scavenger, a muerta de hambre, as we call it. We had our home. My parents worked their jobs, and they earned their living, and they had a home. They were never homeless. I studied English and went to school and never gangbanged, I don't mess with drugs or nor did my parents, and I end up homeless. Who are the ones that are getting all the benefits? The fucking wetbacks and the gangbangers. I've lost everything because I called the FBI. Don't ever call the fucking FBI for anything. And then the FBI was the one that put me on the terrorist list, and now I'm homeless. Basically, I've lost everything my whole life. I'm gang-stalked, and so I will be gang-stalked for the rest of my fucking life. Yes, I get angry because I'm a second-class citizen, not the first-class citizen. I came here by the rule of law. I live by the rule of law, and I'm not a scavenger, but I believe and I will die following the rule of law. I do not take shortcuts. That's the way my parents raised me, and I'm ashamed that I'm treated as a second-class citizen, that I have to ask and beg like a dog. Why? I live in America, for God's sakes. This is the best country in the world, and I'm ashamed of the Mexican government, and I'm going to take them on next. And having said that, item number 2, I would hope that these Housing Community Investment Department will fund, first and foremost, the military veterans and their families to have ownership of their first home, and military veterans and baby boomers, American citizens who are homeless. I want them to have their homes or their homes back. So that's number 2. Again, our military veterans who are homeless and impoverished or returning from war, I want them to have their homes. That's what I want before me. I want them to get homed. Number 3, again, we will not fund any development company or any bank who is going to allow these fucking wetbacks and gangbangers and ghetto from third world country to have a home before an American citizen does. That means African American, white, Latino that is born here legally and brought here legally, and of course our Asian folks. And again, God bless America. God bless America, and God bless Donald Trump. God bless this beautiful country. Thank you.
Ms. McAllister.
Okay, item number 1 here, you want to create an individual development account program. I'm against any programs you guys start because you're not being accountable for the 2.1 billion or 1.2 billion that you're collecting from the people. And I'm looking at these programs where you want money from students and their parents. Now you want another program. I'd like to know, what are the fees you're charging? If you want people to put money in a development account program, what fees are you charging? Because when money sits in accounts, they charge you fees. Is the money guaranteed? When can the money be withdrawn? If you withdraw it early, are there any penalties? So we need to know more about this program. I don't think you all need to be starting any programs because every year you're creating more new funds, F-U-N-D-S, funds, and then you're throwing money in funds, and then you're taking the money out. Number 5, here, this is not typed correctly. That $499,000 is going to West Angeles home. So they left out the word Angeles. That's very important. West Angeles is that big church over there, so now they're in the housing business too. Well, it says West Angeles on the website. On this paper, it says West A. A stands for Angeles. So I know what I'm talking about now. I've been around. So West Angeles, you want to give them $499,000. What I don't like is you want to take that $499,000 and make it HHH money. You can't do it like that because you're getting the money from a different source. You can't say, okay, I'm getting this money from a different source, and let's add that on to HHH. HHH at $1.2 billion is totally different from what you're doing here, and they're going to be townhomes, 20 of them. So they're going to be really nice. Now, I've been in that area, that's current prices area, and it's about 60-40 now of Hispanics, Latinos, illegal aliens, about maybe 30 or 40% African American. So I want to make sure that some African Americans get into those beautiful townhomes. I'm with Ms. Ramirez here. I'm an American citizen. My great-great-great-grandmother was born in slavery, and I have proof that I'm a descendant of slaves. From Ancestry.com, I found my family's history, Mississippi. I'm with the government. These people who are coming in here are not people that are poor. We don't know who these are. They're terrorists, and I'll say we take them out. We drop drones on them, bombs, and all kinds of lethal poisons, okay? All of them. I don't want to see anybody come out alive. If they want to bring their children here and risk their lives, that's their business. This is an invasion. And if they come up in here, we're ready for them. We are ready for them. We have an immigration policy in this country, and you Democrats, I told people this country has been already invaded. When you got all of these millions of illegal aliens in our schools all across the U.S., that tells you who's living here. So you Democrats, I'm hoping that Hillary Clinton gets arrested, Maxine Waters for treason, Soros. These people have to be arrested for treason, and then we're going to take it out.
Mr. Herman?
So now that we're in discussion of understanding what homelessness and poverty has done for any one of us, let's point to my situation in 2012 when I was detained and housed at the Metropolitan in LAPD and made homeless by design of the city of Los Angeles. To find out that my elected official threw me under the bus and had a TRO placed against me where I could not return to my affordable rent-controlled home, and I was lodged into this so-called crisis. But yet you've heard of Eric Garcetti's concern, which finances no housing for individuals of any existing program. Because if it existed, why are there so many homeless people living in the streets today? Why do we have to walk out less than 10 feet from City Hall to see African Americans lying against the building of City Hall with no support by Marquise Harris Dawson to get them off the street? Don't walk away, bro. This is about you. You call it no place like home. I call it fuck Kevin DeLeon, the shithole senator from Sacramento, who's devised a $1 billion HHH, Measure H, and no fucking place out of your home program. So on item 4, it talks about a term of loan and regulatory agreements to modify Senator Hotel apartments into affordable housing. Well, let's take Kevin DeLeon's home and call it no fucking place like my home and use that to the understanding of the Los Angeles County Department on Homelessness and Poverty to know that even with a voucher, You cannot find housing in Los Angeles because it discriminates against homeless individuals, people with mental health disabilities. So where in Los Angeles for $2,800 can I find a place with mixed use in Los Angeles? Anyone here want to say where? See, we're outsourced out of our own privilege as American citizens, as brought to you about the understanding of Trump economics. Let's take Jose Huizar back to Zacatecas and bury all the nigger senators who have placed us out of homelessness.
That concludes our public comment and comment on action items. Let's move forward. Oh, I'm sorry, Susan Hunter? No, please join us.
Susan Hunter, Los Angeles Tenants Union. I'm a caseworker. I'm here. I have two concerns. One being I'm asking that we not continue our contract with CPSI. It is the group that we've contracted with for our tenant relocation for Ellis Act. We have tenants coming to us. They are not being able to get their relocation money and are still facing eviction. So they're being told that they have a time limit that they have to leave, but they're not able to access the money to relocate. And this is becoming a big problem, so I'm asking if you could please look into it. It's currently under investigation with housing. We want to make sure it's a fair housing investigation, and also please do not continue the contract with them. Secondly, we have a lot of properties popping up, not a lot, but we have properties popping up where the RSO was removed. The initial application filed in 1987 was not processed until the mid-2006. And there's no way of being able to return the RSO now that the building is no longer has been updated, is not as new, and we have major repair problems. They're being charged SCEP, they're told it's RSO, and then they find out it's not RSO. So if we could please put something in place to be able to return RSO, that would be hugely helpful. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. H.
Eddie H., yes. Eddie H., Los Angeles Community Action Network. Also, I'm the president of the Tenants Association for the Senator Hotel. We just had a meeting with a representative from Skiver Housing Trust, a meeting that concerned turning one of the kitchens, we have two kitchens, one on the first floor, one on the fourth floor, into office space. Now, there's going to be remodeling done. That's going to start in December. And after that remodeling, there's going to be approximately 96 tenants utilizing one kitchen, which is preposterous. Just imagine on a day where 50 tenants might want to cook at one time. It also takes away space for individuals who go to congregate in the kitchen. It's a kitchen/TV lounge area, and we think that this is egregious and reprehensible. And another thing before I close, we would not even allow the process of vetting or even giving an opinion as it relates to this particular part of remodeling. And I think that it would do a grave disservice to all of the tenants. And also, I have a petition that I had a tenant sign. We have approximately 46 tenants, and well over 2/3 signed the petition. I want to give you a copy of it against this remodeling going forth. So I hope today I won't be able to stay, that you guys would definitely vote this down.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Okay, that concludes public comment. We've got, at this time, we can consider items 1, 2, and 4 through 7 on consent. No objection. Those items are moved on consent. Now we have item number 3.
Item 3, SAO and HCIDLA reports relative to proposed contract amendment with 3DI Inc. for the development of a universal notice of funding availability system and associated memorandum of understanding with Los Angeles County Development Commission and related matters. This also has been referred to the Homelessness and Poverty Committee.
Please join us. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. Okay. Good afternoon, Emily Cervantes from the Office of the CAO. This item before you is HCID requesting authority to amend a contract with 3DI for the development of a universal notice of funding application system to be used by both the Housing Community Investment Development Department, Housing Community Investment Department, the LA County Development Commission, and HACLA. The request is also to accept funding of $195,000 for the development from LACDC to develop the system, as well as transfer funding to pay for the maintenance of the system. Our office concurs with HCID's recommendations, but we included controller instructions so that they would be able to have enough funding for the maintenance of the system. We also want to note that the first amendment to 3DI has not yet been executed. It is currently pending approval by council and concurrence by the mayor, council file 17-0469. So that amendment would also need to be considered and approved. There's no impact to the general fund because funding is available within budgeted special funds.
Thank you.
Hello, good afternoon, council members. This is Greg Kong, Director of Systems of Housing and Community Investment Department. Just want to tell you a little bit more about that systems. What that system would do is that it will create a online notice of funding availability applications for the different affordable developers to submit their applications for funding, services, and vouchers. Currently, without that system, developers have to submit applications to 3 different agencies through 3 different websites, and then the different agencies will have to coordinate to render their review and approval. So with this new website, then the developers can submit 1 application to be reviewed by all 3 agencies. So this will significantly improve efficiencies and the speed of approving projects.
Great.
I'm Tim Elliott, Development Manager at HCID. So the county is making available a technical assistance grant from the No Place Like Home funds that they got for us to develop this system with our current vendors. And because we're assuming the No Place Like Home funds, which is going to be about $650 million, is going to be available at the county, and we're going to try to match that up with the Triple H money in a sort of a consistent manner. And so it's be one-stop shopping for the developers, much like the state's done with its various housing agencies. And it'll allow us to make consistent commitments in probably a more rapid manner. Because right now, you have to go one by one, and they only do it once a year. We do it 3 times a year. So we think this would be very beneficial both to the development community and to us.
Take your questions. Okay, that seems to sound good with us. We're basically going to have one site where everything shows up on one menu rather than looking through multiples.
Yes.
Okay. No questions? Move the item.
Second.
Okay. Item is moved. So will be the order. I think that clears the agenda.
That clears the desk.
The desk is cleared. Okay.